You know we're getting close to episode 20, right? Like this is 19, one more, and it'll be almost like 20 straight episodes. That's pretty impressive, I think.
I think that's extremely impressive.
Yeah.
When we started out, I didn't know we would make it quite so consistently.
Exactly. And I think it's getting close to time to, maybe take a break.
Say what?
I mean, I'm not saying quit, just a break, just to kind of like reset. I mean, don't get me wrong. We're not going to leave our viewers or anything, leave them stranded, but it might be time to take a siesta.
We could talk about it, but I don't know.
Look at you. We just going to ball till you fall.
That's right.
Yeah.
Keep pushing till what does it keep something till the wheels fall off?
Yeah, roll it till the wheels fall off, or that old 80s song, push it to the limit. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nah.
This is Mikel-Claire.
And this is Trey.
And we are the couple of entrepreneurs. We're here to share with you our journey of successes and setbacks as we enter the world of entrepreneurship now that we no longer have 9-to-5s due to the new normal of the world and the pandemic.
Join us as we race the clock to start earning money, gain consistency, and overcome self-doubts and uncertainty as we search for our voices and obtain personal and financial growth. All right, yeah, so, almost 20 straight episodes, that is a feat. I know you may not necessarily be thinking that we should take a break, but can you at least appreciate the value of a break?
Oh, yeah, like the podcast I love doing, so I don't need a break from that, to be honest with you. Well, not yet. When we get to episode 59, maybe then I'll rethink that. But right now it's a lot of fun, so I don't feel like I need a break from it. But some of these other things that we've been doing in this journey, this entrepreneurial journey, I could definitely take a little break from. Yesterday, I was walking around like a zombie because the mental exhaustion that I have from doing all of these things was kind of getting to me a little bit.
Well, you've had a lot on your plate. I mean, you've been building a new business, maintaining your old business, being a mom, maintaining your status as an amazing daughter and sister to your family. I mean, that's a lot to juggle. So I think I wouldn't feel bad if you just took a moment to just breathe. I think it's almost necessary.
I think it's necessary because we reach a point where we're not really giving our best or able to do our best if we're completely worn out and tired. I think it takes like a fresh mind sometimes to deal with problems, overcoming problems, and to deal with obstacles and to be consistent. So do you think breaks are necessary?
Yes. I think you have to take a break. I think all work and no play is going to lead to some type of like self-destruction of yourself or your business, and maybe even a self-destruction of the relationships that you keep around you. You can't neglect everything for the sake of entrepreneurship or business. If you've got a mom or a dad you need to talk to, or some kids that you need to play with, or a significant other that you need to take to dinner, you got to put those in there. You've got to step away from everything. And I'm not talking about just like a moment. You need to take some time, a significant amount of time, as in a full day, in order to like get back in touch with the world.
How can you tell like when it's time for you to take a break? Is there like a twitching in your forehead, or is it like, what is it? Is it physical? Is it mental? How can you tell when it's time for you to take that break?
Man, it's probably a whole lot of tells. If I start drinking a lot more is one. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe. But for me, I start getting like insomnia because I'm just is the pedal to the metal, and nothing is relieving that pressure. I feel like a tea kettle when it's whistling. When I feel that whistle in my head, it's like, okay, I need to step away from it. And when you step away, it has to be like a real legitimate break. It can't be like a half measure.
So insomnia is the only way that you can tell?
Oh no, irritability. I'm sure you can tell. I'm walking around here surly and snapping at people. But the big one is that you start seeing it in your work too. Your work starts getting sloppy, or you start rushing through it in order to get to the next thing, or the intensity for the love and desire for what it is that you do, if it is something that you love to do, it just drops off and it starts feeling like a job. How about you? You have so much on your plate. How do you know enough is enough?
I'm gonna be honest. I do push it pretty far because I feel like I have to keep moving forward, and I know how important momentum is when you're trying to get something accomplished, especially something that you may not necessarily want to do at that moment. Mm-hmm. So for me, I do. I think I push myself to the point of exhaustion. So I'm extremely tired. I'm fatigued. I have no energy. I'm very grumpy. I'll be honest with you. I'm like Rumpelstiltskin walking around when I need a break, and I feel exhausted. Like my body tells me before my mind does, and I still try to keep going even then. But it just becomes necessary. It's almost like to the point where it's not even my choice anymore whether or not I have to take a break. Like my body makes the choice for me.
Well, how long is a long enough break for you? Like some people I hear just need a nap, like a 20-minute nap, and that's a big enough break. And there's others that, they'll work for 6 weeks and then take a month off and they rotate. Like what is your breaking?
I think it depends on the person. And I think it depends on what part of your journey you're in. Like if it's the beginning of your journey and you're just starting out, if you take a month off, what really are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing?
What are you doing? Come on now. Are you really serious about starting a business?
Right.
But if you're like 6 months in and you need to take like a week, even that's a little tough. But then I think it's okay. I think you know yourself well enough to know what works for you.
Right.
And if you're going to be able to go back to what it is that you need to do once that break is over. Have you heard this whole like hustle by any means mentality that's been going around lately?
Yeah.
Do you think having that mentality has a negative effect on business?
I think it does. I think this hustle by any means mentality is overblown, especially now during a time of COVID where a lot of people have a lot of spare time on their hands due to either unemployment or just safety reasons. And there's like this mantra or like this chant that's been going across the internet of like, if you're not building your business while you've got all this time at home, then what are you doing with yourself? And as someone who is a proponent of making the best of your time, there are moments such as a pandemic, such as losing your job, where you kind of need to quiet yourself a little bit so you can figure out what path you need to take. Do things kind of slowly and take your time to let things kind of like manifest. I think it's silly to just think that you just wake up the next day and all of a sudden have a business plan put together and then you're going at it. Some people can do that, but I don't think most people can or should, and they shouldn't feel guilty about not being able to just hit the ground running on day one.
During the pandemic, there's so many other things to consider and to be concerned about than whether or not you have the ability to start up a business. Right. We're thinking about the safety of our family.
Yes.
We're thinking about health. We're thinking about the safety of the country. What's next for everybody? To expect that from people is very unrealistic.
I just want to touch on one more thing that I found kind of interesting. I know in a lot of other cultures, non-Western cultures, there's kind of like breaks built into the day. Like if you go to Spain, for example, or I think in Italy, they do it as well in southern parts of Italy where they'll take like certain amounts of time throughout the day. Like their lunch breaks are like 2.5 hours and it's almost expected for you to eat and sleep and kind of like turn your brain off for a while before you go back to work. I think the hustle by any means mentality is counterintuitive if you don't give yourself enough time to reset and process. And I think when you take those breaks to figure out what it is that you're doing, and also to realize there's more to life than just the hustle. I love the hustle, but but it's not the entire embodiment of everything that I am and all that I'm going to represent, you know? And these cultures that take the time to just do other stuff might be on the right path.
Well, you mentioned in other countries when they take the siestas.
The siestas.
And I know you are a big fan of the siesta.
Absolutely.
But what is your favorite thing to do while breaking?
Shoot, you kind of just hit on it. There's nothing more special than a nice 20 to 30 minute nap. Oh, golly, it's so refreshing. It is like a crisp, deep breath of cold mountain air entering into your lungs. It wakes you up. It gets you ready to do other stuff. Of course, those are just the quick breaks when you're taking a break during the middle of your day. But then there's like the bigger breaks. Like for us, we take Sunday down. And Sunday for us it's our food cheat day. We watch some TV. It's family time. And we don't really do any of our entrepreneurial work unless you just really just want to. It's not like we have to get it done by this schedule type of thing. And honestly, it may not even be enough. If we're going to really stare at that and break it down, there may need to be more time. It may need to be Saturday and Sunday. But for now, I really enjoyed those days, that particular day, to just not think about anything and not feel guilty about it. I think that's really important too, that when you do take these breaks, you have to take it and not feel bad about it.
I like to eat. That's definitely one of my favorite things. I mean, we're on a healthy lifestyle, but I do like to eat. We do incorporate some cheat days, one cheat day into our eating. So I do enjoy eating. And like you, I love spending time with our son and with you. That's like one of my favorite things ever. We watched Avatar. I don't know if anyone's ever seen it. It used to be a Nickelodeon show, but now it's on Netflix.
Great family show.
Great family show. Great story. Great lessons to be learned. But anyway, so I love doing that. I don't watch as much TV as I used to. Yeah. So that's not as much of a guilty pleasure anymore. But I just enjoy hanging out with the people that I love and laughing and not thinking about what I should be doing, because what I should be doing is relaxing, because that's what we chose to do on Sundays. I do feel guilty about it a little bit sometimes.
And why is that?
Because I feel like I could be moving forward in some aspect of business. So, I feel like it's not a waste of time. I don't think it's a waste of time, but I could be using my time to do something else. So I kind of do sometimes a little bit.
I can understand that guilty feeling. I feel guilty when I play video games because it seems like such a childish thing to be doing. But I've been playing video games since I was a little kid. It's just been a part of my life. But now recently, I do feel guilty. Other things, not so much, but it's just that one thing where I'm like, man, should I be doing this? If I'm doing this, then I really should be doing something else. But when it's like reading or spending time with the family or watching an occasional TV show, I don't really feel guilty about that because I'm spending it with you all. I think you know what it is? I think I figured it out. I think it's because a lot of times those video games is just me. And if I'm not spending time building the business, then I need to be spending time with the family. When I'm doing video games, it's just me.
I feel like that too. However, I'm starting to realize, especially because we are staying at home all together. I'm starting to realize that you do need that just you time. And the hard part is trying to figure out when to incorporate that into the day. It can be difficult, but I know that it's necessary. And it's funny because I'm always concerned about everybody else getting it, but I don't really think about it for myself. And I know that I need it. I know that people need that. And even that is like a break. So I think it's important to remember all of those things. You have to do self-care. People talk about self-care all the time.
It's true though.
And it's so necessary. Yeah. It's almost something that we need to start looking at scheduling in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think in a previous episode we had talked about when it's appropriate to be selfish, and taking breaks for your mental health. It falls into that category of it's a good selfish. As long as you don't let it get out of control. And speaking of selfish and taking breaks, we're about to stick a pin in this bad boy. You have tuned in to The Couple of Entrepreneurs. Thank you for hanging out with us and giving us time to vent and express our victories and our failures, please, by all means, hit that subscribe button and tell all your friends and family that we over here talking business, life, money, and family. You want some of this good, come check us out.
Next time you decide to take a break, listen to our episodes.
Exactly. And on that note, peace out.